What's up, everyone? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and I want to share a little bit of a disheartening story that happened to me recently. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I haven't really said anything about it over the course of the last maybe week and a half, 2 weeks from when it actually happened. Now you're probably wondering if it's gonna be some big mind blowing thing, but hell, you've already seen the name of the video, you've already clicked in, and you get the idea. It's not going to be anywhere near as big as I'm making it sound. But let me give you a quick little bit of a backstory that just kind of why I'm kind of frustrated and rubbed the wrong way. Earlier this year on the channel, maybe just a couple of months ago is the most recent thing, I played through Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo 4 on the Master Chief Collection, all on stream on here on YouTube, as well as Halo 5 Guardians, because, well, it wouldn't do it justice if I didn't do all five of them plus ODST. But the point I'm trying to make is, during this playthrough, my Xbox One Elite controller started acting up a little bit. The left stick, even if it was perfectly in place, would start registering a move forward, up, whatever you want to call it, input on the left stick. So I could be standing still and my character would just walk forward. It actually got me killed a couple of times during some of those streams, and I started talking about why there was an issue that was kind of happening and how it was getting progressively worse and worse. Because during the start of it, I had known about the issue, kind of, but it would only happen maybe once a month. It would happen very, very little. Now, I will say this, I didn't use my Xbox One Elite controller a huge amount. I used it a decent amount, but not a huge amount. And I noticed it from time to time. But it did progressively get worse, especially over the course of playing 6 Halo games actually, because of ODST as well. We put that in there. So it got noticeably worse over playing those 6 Halo games in such a short period of time. And eventually it got so bad where now, no matter what way I hold the controller, if I set it down flat on its back, if I stand it up 90 degrees so that it can't tilt, the stick can't tilt upwards, that within maybe 2 seconds of taking my hand off the stick, it will automatically just start moving up no matter what on the left stick input. So it's unusable at this point. I can't remember if I mentioned it during a recent stream, but when I started streaming Fahrenheit and Indigo Prophecy Remastered on the PC recently, yes, I used that controller for the PC because I played the game on the OG Xbox version as well, the emulated OG Xbox version as the very first time I played it, so I was used to that controller, kind of, long story. I actually went back to using one of my regular Xbox One controllers because the other one was, my Elite controller was unusable at that point. So, fair enough, I decided, you know what, I'll finally get off my arse and see what Microsoft can do for me. Now, I realized that when I went into the phone call with Microsoft, I had a general idea of how this was going to go, or at least what to expect from my history with dealing with companies, my history with being in, just in retail and electronics and stuff as well. I generally know how this stuff goes. So if you're out of warranty, they can mostly offer a repair or a replacement for a fee. It's usually not the price of a brand new item, but they usually can do it for a fee. So, I went in knowing this, that my warranty was already up. I bought this controller in October of 2015, so 2 years ago. I don't remember the exact date, but 2 years ago. The same month 2 years ago, that's all that matters. And I knew that the warranty was 1 year. So, I figured, okay, I'm probably going to have to pay for this. I'm okay with that. A brand new one of these is like 140, 150 euro. I'll pay what's probably half or a third of that to get it replaced or repaired, whatever it is, and I'll be good to go. So I call up and I go through all the proper channels. It's like, if you need tech support, press this and blah blah blah. And then after about 20 minutes on hold, which was kind of annoying, especially because I think it was a Monday morning, and again, that could have been all the people that were having trouble over the weekend, I suppose. Anyway, that's beside the point. I get a guy on the phone, some tech support, and for what it's worth, his tech support, or not his tech support, his customer service was excellent. I'll give him that. I can't fault him on that. He was very helpful. He was very concise. He was asking the right questions. As someone who has dealt with people previously, when they're trying to explain to you and you're trying to get the right questions and the right info out of them, He was very, very good. I realized that Microsoft have like massive divisions that come up with this kind of stuff and all, but he was very helpful. I can't fault him at all. So I explained to him the problem, and he said, okay, this is clearly a hardware issue. This isn't going to be something if we update the controller or anything like that. So we went in and we started, well, I say we, but he did. He went in and started looking in the system and all to see what they could do and how much it would cost to get repaired or replaced or whatever. And he found out that all he could find on the system was a way to only order replacement parts for the accessories of the controller. Now, if you're not familiar with what counts as the accessories of the Xbox One Elite controller, it's the two different replaceable D-pads. You know, the old school style one is more of the bowl style one as well. You can get replacements of those if you lose them. You can get replacements of the carry case, of the braided USB cable, of the 4 paddles at the back, and you can get replacements of the 3 different kinds of sticks, the 3 different kinds of analog sticks. If you're not familiar, the Xbox One Elite controller actually has 3 different types of analog sticks you can pop on for whatever your own personal preference on them is. They've got like really, really short ones that are basically nubs, almost like a 3DS. They've got the standard length ones, which is the ones I use, and they've got some really, really extra long ones, like a good pair of nipples on a cold day. But that's all beside the point. They actually had no way to repair or replace the actual base controller unit itself. And that was what was malfunctioning for me. That was where my issue stemmed from. Because like I said, even if I took all the sticks and the paddles and the D-pad and whatever off, and if I even put the controller down flat, or if I held it up at a 90-degree angle so that it couldn't tilt forward, it would always still have this issue. So it was clearly the base controller unit that was giving me the issue. So he found it a bit strange that there was no way to do anything out of warranty on there. There was no way to offer a paid repair or a paid replacement or anything. So he popped me on hold for a minute, went off, looked, talked to whoever he needed to talk to, maybe consulted whatever database they had, I don't know, whatever they did. But he came back and he said, yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a way to repair or replace this item outside of warranty. And that confused the shit out of me. Because, like, why would they do that? Or why would they not have something like that? Now, you could probably argue that it's to get you to buy a new one. But that's the last thing that someone is going to want to do in my position. I know personally I will not buy a new Xbox One Elite controller. Because if they said to me, okay, we can't do anything for you out of warranty, even if you're willing to pay for it, we can't do anything for you. Go out and buy a new one of the product you're having a fault with. And the thing that makes this especially true, and especially, what do we call it, confidence busting, is that I've looked around online and this controller problem is pretty widespread. So, and it seems to be happening within a year and a half to 2 years after release. So, if I'm having a fault with this controller and you can't do anything for me about it because it's out of warranty, even though I'm willing to take a hit and replace it or repair it or whatever, you're telling me to go out and buy a new one when I could potentially have a widespread problem 2 years down the line with this new one that you want me to buy that you can't do anything for me with, even 2 years from now when that one breaks. So, I don't know, that just completely killed the experience for me. It completely killed my drive to go and buy a new Xbox One Elite controller. Now, like I said, I wasn't going to buy one anyway. It's why I called up to get it replaced or repaired. But why would a company not have something like this? Especially Microsoft, because of the fairly bad position they're in the market. You'd think they'd want to go out and do basically everything they can. So, I don't know, that seems really, really kind of shitty to me. Because, I mean, I won't say I'm a huge Microsoft fan, because that would sound really wrong, because I'm a fan of all the companies when they do stuff right, and, you know, PC when that does stuff right, which is almost all the time, but that's the point, that's beside the point. So, I mean, my point here is that I have an OG Xbox. I got it very, very early in its lifespan, maybe a month or two after launch, if even that long after launch. It might have even been earlier. I've gone through like 3 Xbox 360s, none of which broke, mind you. There's a reason for that I won't get into. Multiple controllers. I've a day one Xbox One. I am getting an Xbox One X. And this is going to sound really bad as well, that as an Xbox supporter, again, that sounds bad. It sounds like I'm going on the fanboy side of it. That I'm not saying I deserve preferential treatment because of it. I just think it's strange that they don't have some sort of system set up for this. Because especially when they're in such a bad market position, that they kind of need to do everything they want to not piss off customers and not to drive customers away. And I'm not saying it's going to drive me away, but it certainly drove me away even further from the idea of buying a new Elite controller. I'd already resigned myself to not buying an Elite controller, another Elite controller. I would have, like I said, get it replaced or repaired, even for a cost, as long as that cost was like maybe half at most of the price of a new controller. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have bothered. Now I have even less desire to ever buy an Xbox One Elite controller. Because, let's face it, while it is a great controller and it's better than existing Xbox One controllers, I have 3 existing working Xbox One controllers and the faulty Elite controller. And I'll have another one. I'll have another working controller when I get my Xbox One X. So, I mean, yeah, I can just use one of them like I already did when I played my Fahrenheit and Indigo Prophecy playthrough. I actually had to use the regular one because the Elite controller was unplayable. So, Microsoft, what are you doing? Why would you do something like this? Why would you not have a system like this for when someone is buying a premium product and you have basically no service or support for them beyond what you're legally obliged to do? And they still offer out of warranty paid replacements and paid repairs, and even sometimes just free replacements even outside of warranty, depending on the issue. On the Microsoft side, with consoles, with other pieces of hardware, like maybe, hell, I won't even say Kinect, but not just specifically to consoles. And yet, here I am, stuck out in the cold with a non-functional Xbox One Elite controller. So, I don't know. Anyway, let me know in the comments section below what you think about the whole situation. Do you think it's bullshit that I will say that they're screwing me like this? Because other companies will do paid out of warranty repairs and replacements, and Microsoft themselves do it for certain products, and they won't do it for this alleged premium product for me. I'm not asking specifically for me, just they don't have a service for it. Let me know if you've encountered anything like this and what you think of my situation. Even if it's not something that's Microsoft specific to you. Maybe it's a Sony thing, maybe it's a Nintendo thing, maybe it's not even a gaming related thing whatsoever. Maybe it's your car, something in your house, whatever it is. Let me know if you've had a similar situation like this and what your experience with it is. Let me know all of that anyway in the comments section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the rest of the videos in my channel.